There was a comment from a viewer that I think brought up obviously a very good idea for a video. And so we're talking about this, why everybody was wrong in 2024 and 2025, why the market didn't end up in such an optimistic, explosive way. And it comes down to just a couple things. But I will say, even though 2024 and 2025 haven't quite turned out the way we expected, it's actually set us up for something pretty promising heading into the future. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. But let's just dive into this comment. This is from JW9396. This was actually in response to a couple comments the other day. He was basically saying that, nobody's saying that ADA is going to go down more. And I responded by saying, yeah, I talked about it potentially going down to the price ranges that we actually hit, I believe a couple days ago, day or two ago. Anyways, irrelevant. But what he said is the next video should talk about why ADA has been down and maybe down for the next few weeks. I should do the exact opposite of what everybody is doing on YouTube. Basically, we should be talking about why everybody was wrong all of 2025, why everybody was so optimistic and why it was in fact so wrong. He said he's a fan of the channel. Appreciate the comments. And that was obviously me just kind of glossing over the long post. But the big problem that we had is that everybody was under the assumption that the market was going to play out in the way that it normally does, that we were going to have our 1 year of bear market. We were going to have these 3 years of green. It was going to be fun, exciting. We were all going to be popping champagne because we're smarter than everybody else in the world. Adoption was going to continue. We'd move from, 5-6% of the world in crypto to 10 to 15%, and all of our bags would moon. That didn't happen. And the big reason why is because adoption flatlined. We've talked about this before in other videos, but the problem that you have then is you have people who are here in the market right now that are doing one of two things: either remain holding their conviction in a singular asset or several assets, and anytime there's a dip, they're taking their liquidity and they're choosing to put it into those assets, and that's why we see assets at higher prices than they were in the bear market. Or you're watching people pop around the space and chase other opportunities, right? And the market has become somewhat diluted. And we've talked about this before. Again, major portions of liquidity, like 98, 99% of it still exists in the top 100 coins in the space. But basically, people have gotten bored. They've gotten exhausted. Many people have started to chase assets around the crypto space. And so it's hard for people to really hold conviction for assets to see these extended runs. One, when you're not watching the market expand, but two, when you're not watching coins really go up. That's why 2025, with all of its bad news and black swan events, has really just turned into kind of a shit show of a year, if that makes sense. Now, there is a silver lining here because many assets, like I mentioned, are higher than they were in the bear market cycle. They have more holders. There is more conviction. There's been a lot of building that's been done from 2023, 2022 into now 2025. We're also seeing big embrace from institutional players, from governments, from enterprises, some of these large entities I talk about quite often. In fact, a piece of news I wanted to just pop up here: SEC Chair Paul Atkins says innovation exemption for crypto firms is coming in January. So again, you're promoting crypto building in a big way here in the US. But again, the big problem of it is no new people. Now, that can change in a couple ways. One, liquidity expansion here in the US. We obviously know, and I talk about this later, the Fed is now pivoting. We obviously know quantitative tightening ended yesterday. Eventually QE is going to be coming, and that can lead to the markets expanding over time. Adopting blockchain tech, that can bring new users to the crypto space by basically forcing people to utilize crypto, right? And that more so, again, shifts us from a speculative era into more of a tech-driven era, which those who have, the best infrastructure, those who are actually seeing enterprise adoption, those are the assets that are going to thrive, just like you would see in the stock market, right? Those who are making big waves and doing things different and really advancing the world, those are the ones that are probably going to do the best. We're not there yet because we're, again, still such an early market. And it goes back to, again, that 6% of the world in crypto. That is why everybody was so wrong. It's because what we expected to normally happen didn't happen. But again, this is why I go back to, people expecting a bear market now. It's probably not normally going to happen. And I don't want to dive into another video that I have coming later, which you guys should check out. I found some very interesting consistencies with a different period of time that we have seen before. But that's why we were so wrong. We expected the normal thing to just happen, but when different entities get involved, when you're not seeing the things that you normally see, things change, right? Now, that being said, I'm very optimistic about where we're sitting because, again, we have major conviction in the market. The capital that we've seen enter the market isn't exiting the market. If anything, it's flocking to stables, and there's not even a ton of that going on right now. There's some of it, but there aren't people that are withdrawing these massive amounts of liquidity from the market, which means that basically the market is primed for this big explosive moment when the capital starts to re-enter the market and it starts to, excuse me, get people talking about crypto again. When you start to see new people moving into the space, the ball will eventually start rolling again. It's kind of like, you know, if you're rolling a ball down a hill, right? It accelerates and then we kind of hit this flat spot and then the ball just, geez. And then the ball just kind of slowly started to slow down. It was flat, not much was going on, but we're getting very close to the edge, this tipping point again, where the ball will continue to roll down the hill and you will see adoption pick up. The ball will pick up speed. People will pay attention and notice what is happening. It's frankly just a matter of time. And, you know, this isn't my positive spin on this. This is just how this cycle has played out. It's how adoption is now kind of shifted for the time being. But I'm very confident that those things will change again heading into the future. So that's my thoughts on this. That's why everybody was wrong. And maybe some people will point to some people being right, but it's kind of crazy because those people bet so early on everybody else being wrong that they were right. Well, then, you know, maybe right now we're betting on being right so early that everybody else will be wrong. And, you know, again, that's just me going off on a tangent, but you guys get it. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.